Good morning again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do the disclaimers, just to roll it back a little bit. So, to roll it back, during the last video, we basically sat there and watched while Matthew Israel basically lied his ass off. As you notice here, now we got a massive run on sentence from hell that I'm already dreading reading. Like, somewhere out in Massachusetts, my former English teacher grandma is rolling in her grave. So, what has he lied about? Well, simply just everything. This is an individual who would have basically, he relies on your stupidity. Individuals like myself who have enough knowledge probably to be considered dangerous, knows they are lies, and have called them out on his lies. Problem is, we live in a world these days where people are just willing to go on a narrative and don't want to shake things up. So when we want to say something, you're just disturbing the peace. That poor man is just trying to help the children. And it's not helping children, Karen. Just because you can't be bothered. So you drop this poor kid off at this place and are completely fine with basically psychopaths having full control over your children doesn't mean those of us who share their diagnosis are. Alright? But anyways, let's get into it, shall we, before I get into a rambling mess. In the description box, folks, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavior modification program. Now, folks, ABA professionals, these are behavior analysts, okay? See, most of us are against ABA. These are ABA professionals. Even their asses do not agree with Dr. Matthew Israel. Just to make it clear cut here. In fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, NeuroClastic has refused. So you know the drill, folks. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. We also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case these bastards have the balls to see through with their threat. We also have linked in there the Ozark's first article in regards to Agape Boarding School / now known as Stone for Help Boarding School. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school, one of the many I'm coming to learn, unfortunately, that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the hard evidence gathered by the Missouri Department of Social Services during their investigation, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still living on the premises with full access to those boys, up again on multiple substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You got an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens to do his job and actually protect the kids of the state. And you've got a governor who's just, I don't even know what to call it. He's off his fucking meds. I don't know. I just know it's nuts. So send help. Excuse me. Allergies. And send that article throughout all your social media platforms. We got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masemba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, A clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002. The templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and use those headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is advised. All right, trigger warning. We are about to once again descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, torture and abuse apologencia, pseudoscience, and just, God, so many lies. All the lies. All of them. Dr. Israel is the guy that Satan looks at and goes, what the hell? Right? Right? I'm just saying. Saying is all. So, be prepared for the stupid. This is all coming from a man with a massive ego and an even more massive God complex. So let's get back into the stupid, shall we? Fucking God, give me my calm tea. The level of shock is unbelievable, very painful. This statement is attributed to a psychologist who visited JRC on behalf of the New York State Department of Education. INSEAD, which continues to approve JRC as one of its out-state placement options for special needs children and adolescents from New York State, made a decision in 2006 to try and ban adversives as applied to any of the New York school-aged students. Okay, so stating this helps your case. How? In fact, New York has done more since then, Doctor. In fact, they are right now putting into place, hopefully, Andre's Law. You know, the kid that you shocked into catatonia in 2002? Folks, let me tell you what Stunning and Brave actually looks like. Stunning and Brave is Andre McCollins after all the horrible things that they did to him. Staring down his abusers and torturers and their lawyers while fighting to make law that not a single other New York special ed student ever has to get sent to this place and tortured again. That's stunning. That's brave. Look it up, media. But anyways, as part of its campaign to accomplish this, INSEAD selected a group of consultants who were firmly opposed to the use of adversives and asked that the group visit JRC in the spring of 2006 and write a report on the JRC. Okay, that's a lie, Doctor. Let me tell you how this works. Okay, folks. As we know, I've worked in this field. We also know that I have an accompaniment on several such visits. Let me tell you how that actually works. We don't just go visiting out of nowhere because we're opposed to aversives. Not how it works, Doctor. Here's how it actually works. But you get several reports coming in with doctor documents to back it up that something shady's going on in a particular group home or program or school. When enough of them come through, the case manager of the individuals that are the focus of the concern will bring that to the state. The case managers who then kind of oversee that region will then look over those reports. Individuals such as the heads of the departments for that region, the social workers, the parents, and the self-advocates will then form a group, a sort of committee, if you will, to go over those reports, to determine if that is a place where a non-supervised, non-announced visit is warranted. When we go out there, Doctor, it's not because we're opposed to adversives. We go out there because there has been enough reports of suspicion of abuse that it warrants to have a non-announced visit in order to get to the bottom of what's actually going on. Usually these groups consist of, at least in my state starting circa early 2000s, a person, also known as a self-advocate, or advocacy specialist as we became known later, to go out and act on the behalf of the individual with disability, or individuals, depending on the case, to be on their side. My job was to get their story. Okay? My job was to basically separate these individuals and go out and speak to them as to what's going on. Okay? That was my job. My job was to also, once all the evidence and everybody comparing notes happened, to advocate on the behalf of the individual with the disability in question or the individuals. All right, that was my job. You would also have a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a caseworker. You see where this is going here, right? We go out there in order to investigate what is actually going on. It has nothing to do, nothing at all, doctor, at all with being opposed to aversives. Of course, I am, because I don't think anyone should be punished for acting within their neurology. I think it's your job as a fucking doctor to get to what's causing the behaviors and working on that. But I know you can't deal with logic or facts, so, When we come out there, when we do those visits, that is because there has been enough reports that there is reason for concern. When there's that reason for concern, doctor, as individuals who work for a state, not the JRC, but the state, it is our job to go out there when you're not looking for us. The whole concept of it is for you to not get a heads up. And the reason why that is, folks, is because we want to see what's going on behind closed doors. We want to see all the things that they don't want us to see. But Dr. Israel, he just can't have that now, can he? It's not about being opposed to aversives. It's not how these state departments work, doctor. And you fucking know that. But let's see the rest of his lies, right? As expected, the report was quite critical of the JRC and was replete with false and misleading information. Oh, doctor, is it actually false? No, it's not, folks. Because it's corroborated by former students' testimonies, the DESI report, and their own fucking surveillance footage. But it's false because Dr. Israel says it is. This is the world we live in now, folks. Don't believe the evidence, believe me. And there are people who are so fucking gullible that they just go with it. Someone stop the world. I want to get out of here. It's not false and misleading information because you say it is, doctor. Not when it's backed up by ER documents, surveillance footage, DESI reports, and ER documents. Again, if you don't believe me, you are free to go onto Autistic Hoya's massive archive. The JRC responded to all aspects of the report. Yeah, I read that. It was a fucking joke, doctor. It was an absolute out-and-out goddamned joke. You did not address a single goddamn charge in the entirety of that over 100 pages. You addressed nothing. Just like you're doing now. Just like you're doing now. Basically, it was an over 100-page document, much like this one, that could have been summed up real easily with, don't believe facts and evidence and doctors. Trust me, bruh. And could have saved us all a bunch of time eye-rolling and just wanting to bang our heads into the wall repeatedly so we can maybe knock out the stupidity we just read. Okay? You did not respond to a single fucking thing in the entirety of that document, doctor. And don't tell me I didn't read it, because I have full-on fucking videos of me doing exactly that. We're going to stop in the middle of this paragraph of stupid. Dr. Matthew Israel likes to think the UN is stupid. The New York State of Special Education is stupid. His Attorney General is stupid. Everybody's stupid but Dr. Matthew Israel. And he's just going to tell us why he does how he does, and we're just supposed to accept it even when it's a bald-faced lie. And he wonders why he has so many opponents. You're just philosophically against aversives. Evidence. You sit there and present the evidence. Oh, but it's philosophical. Put more evidence. Philosophical. More evidence. That's a lie. You pull out the ER documents, but those are lies. What in the name of God makes you think, doctor, that we have the time to pile through all of this just to attack you? Doesn't make sense. We're going to close on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit those comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.